What if the loneliness you're trying to escape is actually the greatest gift life has ever given you? Imagine this. It's a quiet evening. Everyone you know is out laughing, posting stories, living what looks like the perfect life. And you're sitting alone, in silence, wondering why you feel so empty without someone beside you. You scroll through your phone looking for validation, for a text, for anything that proves you matter. But here's the question nobody ever asks you. What if that silence isn't punishment? What if it's preparation? What if the man who masters his own company becomes the most dangerous, most powerful, most fulfilled version of himself? Stay with me. This changes everything. In this video, you will learn 12 Stoic lessons that will completely rewire the way you see solitude, discipline, and happiness. These aren't motivational quotes plastered on a wall. These are battle-tested principles from Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, men who faced war, slavery, and exile, yet remained unshakable. And here's the first curiosity gap. The Stoics discovered something about human happiness that modern psychology is only beginning to confirm. Most people spend their entire lives chasing connection to fill an internal void, never realizing the void itself is the signal. The second thing you need to know, the men who studied hardest, trained most ruthlessly, and needed no one's approval became the ones everyone wanted to be around. Does that sound like a contradiction? It's not. It's the paradox of inner freedom. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to live it. Before we go deeper, I want you to do one thing right now. Drop the word unshakable in the comments below. Not because it's a trend, but because by typing that word today, you're making a declaration to yourself that you're done waiting for the world to complete you. You're choosing to become whole on your own terms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button right now, because every single video on this channel is built to make you mentally stronger, sharper, and freer. Most people will skip this. Don't be most people. The lessons start now. Lesson 1. Solitude is not loneliness, it's power. Here's a bold truth most people are too afraid to hear. Solitude is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that something powerful is happening within you. The problem is that society has conditioned you to feel incomplete when you're alone. Every commercial, every social media post, every movie tells you that happiness lives in crowds. But here's the truth. Every great philosopher, warrior, and thinker in history created their greatest work in silence. Think about your own life. When were you most clear? Most powerful? Drop clarity in the comments if this resonates. Lesson 2. Study is the sharpest weapon you own. The man who reads while others scroll is building an empire others can't even see yet. This is where most people fail. They confuse entertainment with growth. They spend hours consuming content, leaves them emptier than before. But study, real, focused, intentional study, rewires your brain, expands your perspective, and gives you an unshakable foundation that no relationship, no job, no external circumstance can take away. Seneca wrote, "Retire into yourself as much as possible." He didn't mean hide, he meant sharpen. Have you ever noticed how reading one great book can change your entire year? Lesson 3. Your body is your first discipline. Training your body is not about aesthetics. Let that land. When you wake up at 5 in the morning and push through physical pain, you are teaching your mind one of the most important lessons it will ever learn, that discomfort does not mean stop. It means grow. The Stoics believed the body and mind were deeply connected. Epictetus, who was once a slave with a broken leg, understood more about strength than most free men ever will. Ask yourself right now, are you treating your body like a temple or an afterthought? The answer reveals your philosophy. Lesson 4. Stop outsourcing your mood to other people. And this is where most people fail. They hand the remote control of their emotional state to other people, and then wonder why their life feels out of control. If someone ignores you, your day is ruined. If someone praises you, you feel invincible. That's not strength, that's slavery. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts, not the quality of your relationships. Stay with me, this gets deeper. When you stop needing external validation, you stop being manipulable. And nobody can weaponize what you no longer crave. Lesson 5. Happiness is a practice, not a person. Here's something the self-help industry will never sell you because it doesn't make money. Happiness is not found in another person. It is built through daily action. Every time you study one more chapter, every time you choose the gym over the couch, every time you sit in silence and breathe instead of reaching for your phone, you are depositing into the account of your own joy. Most people spend their lives looking for someone to make them happy. The rare few build a life so disciplined and so intentional that happiness becomes their default state. Which one will you choose? Lesson 6. The art of needing less. There is an almost terrifying freedom that comes when you genuinely need less. Not because you've given up, but because you've grown up. The Stoics called this autarkia, self-sufficiency. It means your inner world is so rich, so full, so alive that the noise of the outside world loses its grip on you. Think about this. The man who needs no one's company walks into every room with quiet confidence because he is never performing. He is never auditioning. Have you ever met someone like that? Comment free if you want to become that person. Lesson 7. Silence is where your real self lives. Most people are terrified of silence. And that terror reveals everything. Because the moment the noise stops, the music, the scrolling, the chatter, something uncomfortable rises to the surface. Thoughts you've been running from. Truths you've been avoiding. Questions you're afraid to answer. But here is the paradox. The man who faces that silence consistently, without flinching, without escaping, becomes the most self-aware human in any room he enters. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. And this is exactly where your transformation begins. Stop running from yourself. Lesson 8. Discipline creates freedom, not restriction. Every undisciplined man believes freedom means doing whatever he wants. But here's the truth. That kind of freedom is actually the highest form of slavery. When you have no structure, no routine, no standard, your life becomes controlled by impulse, emotion, and whoever speaks to you last. But the man who wakes at the same hour, who protects his study time, who trains with consistency, that man has built walls around his peace. Nobody can disturb what he has forged. Have you ever noticed how your best days always follow your most disciplined mornings? That's not coincidence. That's design. Lesson 9. Remove the people who drain your vision. This lesson will make some people uncomfortable, and that's exactly why it needs to be said. Not everyone deserves a seat at the table of your growth. Some people in your life are not neutral. They are actively pulling you toward mediocrity through their complaints, their chaos, and their comfort with average. Seneca warned that we become like those we spend time with. This is not cruelty, this is conservation. Your energy is finite. Your time is irreplaceable. Guard both with the same intensity you'd guard your most valuable possession. Most people won't. That's why they stay stuck. Lesson 10. Build something that outlasts approval. The greatest tragedy of the modern man is that he builds his life for an audience instead of building it for a legacy. Every decision filtered through, what will they think? Every post, every move, every ambition quietly asking permission from people who aren't even watching. But the Stoic asks a different question. What will my future self think of me? Build something real. Build something that would stand even if no one clapped. Because the work that gets done in silence, in solitude, without validation, that work is the work that actually lasts. Lesson 11. The man who enjoys his own company wins. Here's a pattern interrupt. The most attractive, most respected, most successful people you've ever met all share one quiet trait. They genuinely enjoy being alone. Not because they're antisocial, but because they are so deeply invested in their own growth, their own thoughts, their own evolution, that they don't need external entertainment to feel alive. That energy is magnetic. That energy is rare. And it starts with a simple daily decision to choose your books over your boredom, your training over your temptation, and your peace over your people-pleasing. Comment SEL Mastery if you're committing to this today. Lesson 12. This is the life the Stoics were building toward. Every lesson in this video has been pointing toward one destination, a man who is complete within himself. Not closed, not cold, but complete. A man who studies not to impress anyone, but because knowledge is his inheritance. A man who trains not for the mirror, but for the war life will inevitably bring. A man who is happy, genuinely, deeply, quietly happy, not because the world gave him everything, but because he stopped waiting for the world and started building from within. This is Stoic freedom, and it has always been available to you. You've just walked through 12 Stoic truths that could permanently change the trajectory of your life. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. So here's your final challenge. Starting today, protect 1 hour of study, complete 1 training session, and sit in silence for 10 minutes without your phone. Do that for 30 days and watch the version of yourself that emerges. It will surprise you. That version doesn't need anyone's company to feel whole. He carries his peace with him everywhere. Now I want you to drop one final comment below. Tell me which of these 12 lessons hit you the hardest and why. Your answer will tell you exactly where your next transformation lives. And if this video gave you something real, subscribe right now because this channel exists for men who are building something serious. Most people won't apply this, but you're not most people. Study, train, be happy on your own terms.